Maybe like I'm leaving school now for the rest of my life.
Yes, for
You
my
already have a
passion.
degree, right?
No, I still have like a year and a half, 2 years left.
You don't have a basic degree though?
I have the associate degree.
Okay.
Yeah. The college degree, community college.
Yeah, okay.
Well, Kim, you should stay in school. That's what everybody says to do. I don't know why they say that though. I don't know anybody actually using their degree.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump in before I become too old.
Yeah.
So what? Shoot?
Huh?
To shoot?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you're getting pretty close to over the hill now, man.
I'm 30 real soon.
Yeah, as soon as
Yeah.
you're 30, it's like it's over. That's what everyone says. They're like, "Oh, just wait." And I'm like, I'm 33, and I was like, everybody's going downhill. Then they'll be like, "Oh, when you're 40." I don't know. We'll see. It falls off at some point. Anyway, welcome to the Practical Pistol Show, people. My name's Ben. We're here to answer your shooting questions. We have Mr. Kim. Say
Hello.
hello, Mr. Kim. And Hopkins making her triumphant return.
I
Hi. Dude, I see plaques on the wall behind you.
Yeah, Taylor put them up.
That was nice
A
of
lot.
her. Was that just this year? That looks like only a year's worth. Maybe not even a
I,
whole year.
I think it's 16 and 17, but not all of them.
Yeah, there's no way that's all the plaques you got in 2 years, dude. Gotta, she's got to pump those numbers up, those rookie numbers.
I know.
Anyway, let's get to the questions, guys. Unless there's business, do we have any stuff to talk about, Hopkins? People want to know where damn Shadow 2's at.
Dude, they're all over, man. I don't
Yeah, no, it's
understand.
true. They want to know where them stock 2's are at. I don't have a good answer for them. I've got a conspiracy theory for you, though, man. I think
What's up?
CZ is buying up stock 2's so they can't hit the market.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I'm going to start spreading that around. I don't think it's
Solid
going to get
plan.
much traction. Be a good move,
gonna- Yeah, I'm gonna offer that up.
though. And then they'll probably just like, nah, we'll just let Tamfolio fuck it up on their own.
Yeah.
Damn it. All right. What should my goals be regarding splits at various distances if I want to make GM? How do I get better at splitting? Holy shit.
Get a
Matt,
better knife.
what?
Get a better knife so you can split them harder. and
I think
faster.
he's talking about like how fast he can shoot his gun, like the shot-to-shot splits. Right?
Grip it harder. Yeah, I mean that makes sense on a shooting show, right?
I mean, it would. But do you accept the premise of the well? I guess you don't have to accept the premise of it, but is there a goal number for splits if you want to make GM, Hopkins?
Probably minimum 20s, but your
I feel the
transition's got to
same
be
way. I feel the
your
same way.
transition's got to be like 20s also. Then maybe not 20s, but they got to be pretty good.
What do you think, Kim? Is there a goal split for
Yeah.
GM?
Well, those are all on your book. Your
I
like,
know, right?
yeah.
It's almost as if I've been here before and had this conversation many
Yeah.
times with people. But no,
Yeah, people. Uh-huh.
there's no reason not to. Let's take it from the top. Well, okay, how about this? I'll tell you guys what I think
Maybe
about
answer
this.
it a different way.
No. I'll take it from the
Okay.
top. I'll like
All right.
give you my reasoning, and you guys can tell me what you think about it. So, I don't think splits matter hugely to make GM. They matter a little bit, but I mean, in the context of all the stuff you got to do to make GM, like having super fast splits doesn't mean a whole lot. Super fast being the difference between a guy who can, if you're at a match and you hear a guy like, whoa, like running the shit out of the gun, like that 1 in 100 dude that can run crazy fast splits, like, like where it sounds like one shot. You don't have to be that dude to be a GM, but you got to be like one of the dudes who like shoots the gun fast. When you're at a club match, you see a couple guys like, wow, they shoot fast. You got to be one of those guys. You don't have to be like the freak. At close range targets, that like you said, Hopkins, I think that means like 0.2 seconds between shots on a close range target when you run the gun. That's pretty good. But like a good metric that I'd give people is at close range like that as fast as you can pull the trigger. So whether that breaks down to be 16s, 17s, 20s, or 21s, depending on the gun and the trigger and that kind of thing, as fast as you can pull the trigger, you can shoot and kind of hold them in the A zone at 5 yards or something like that. That's a pretty good place to start. Does that sound good so far?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So you've got to be that way at close range stuff. And then obviously splits slow down as you back away from the target, getting to a point where eventually it's just like shot, sight picture, maybe half a second between shots for really tough shots. All right. But then there's all these gradations in between there. And I think GMs, guys who make GM, are more able to shoot close to as fast as they can pull the trigger. Maybe not as fast as they can go, but close to as fast as they can go, out to like maybe 15 yards on wide open targets. You can shoot like 15 yards as fast as they can run the gun, or more or less. Does that sound fair?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's with me so far. All right, so we're doing okay so far.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
so how you improve it? So then there's like basically there's two. If you're watching groups of people, there's two main places where people are going to be. Number one is they cannot run the gun like as fast as they can pull the trigger. It sounds weird because you'd think if you're shooting, they'd be like, I'm shooting as fast as I can. But then you watch them be like, no, you're not. So it's like there are people who aren't shooting the gun as fast as their finger will move. Like they're shooting half a second between shots and they think that's as fast as they can go for whatever reason. Or a third of a second between shots, they think that's as fast as they can go. So if you're one of those people who like you're nowhere near, you're not even on the same planet as people at your club that look fast to you, there's a couple ways to approach that. Number one, you can, sounds stupid, but it works. You can shoot into a berm and just try to produce that .2 split. And the key will be relaxing your firing hand a little bit. That usually does it for most people. You could try that. You can try moving to like 3 yards, just shooting closer, doing bill drills up at close range, again, focusing on relaxation. Another thing I like to do is have them hold the gun and have somebody else pull the trigger so that it can experience, they're holding onto the gun, it goes boom like that, and they're like, I held onto it and it didn't flatter my hand, it didn't go anywhere, and everything was cool, so maybe I'll just try to reproduce that. So like kind of learning to relax your hand and actually run the gun hard, that's the first part of it. And then the second part would be the actual technical training, which is like, what's that drill we did in class a couple weeks ago when Kimmy showed up?
The A-zone drill?
Not just the A-zone, but the one we're shooting in pairs on the targets. Remember that one?
Yeah.
All right, so shooting in pairs as you back up, working on sort of sorting out your grip and learning how to hold the gun properly so you can run the gun hard and more or less hold the A-zone. So there's a couple methods for training. What do you guys think about that?
It was really pretty good explanation.
Yeah.
Well, fuck yeah.
So the only thing I was going to say is, when is it a detriment?
The splits?
Yeah.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
that'd be easier to explain.
Yeah, so there are some guys who get themselves, I think it's people who just shoot primarily at the 7-yard line or 5-yard line. And every time they shoot, they're going to come up there and they're going to do they're going to aim once and then pull the trigger twice as fast as they can pull the trigger. There are some guys like that, and then that is a detriment to where it's like you don't have any sort of different gears for different ranges, or there's no sort of acknowledgement in their mind that it's like, hey, you're shooting a 10-yard headshot. It's probably not a smart idea to aim at that and go pop like that. I mean, that's kind of fucking retarded, don't you think? Wouldn't you agree, sir? Like, that's where it becomes a detriment.
That would be pretty stupid. So you took it a different point. I thought it would be like seeing a hard sight picture on every single target.
Yes, doing that would be really dumb too.
Not really dumb. I mean, people don't know, though, or what they can get away with.
Yeah, so learning to be faster usually means learning where you're going to cut corners, right?
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Yeah, so
one other thing really helped me to split faster was, so basically if I shoot 5-yard target, I can pretty much shoot one side picture but 2 poles. So basically I am not really confirming the second shot, but it's still going to be the A zone.
blasphemy. No,
But
that's
then-
okay though.
So I am, like Ben said, physically shooting the fastest at 5 yards. So two fast pulls, and then I will observe what the side picture looks like. So how much it jumps up and how fast it comes down. So as soon as it comes down, I am shooting. So I am maintaining that speed. Let's say it was a .2 split or under. I am maintaining split, but each pair I will step back, step back. So I'll go up to like 20 yards. So two shot, step back, two shot, step back. And then I am basically seeing if I can actually hit the two A's with the same split, .2 split at 17 yard, 20 yard. And in that case, I can basically figure out if my gun is coming back to the same spot over and over. If not, I'll get Charlies and Deltas. And another thing that actually helped me, there were probably two things that really helped me to split fast. I said it a couple of times already. The first one was when I took Ben's class a couple of years back. I asked him to grip my gun with his support hand, but my strong hand was gripping the gun. So I can feel his support hand pressure, grip pressure, and also the placement of his fingers and palm and all that. So I basically copied that, and it was a huge difference after I started using really high pressure or vice grip, so to say. And then recently I started working on making the front sight movement more predictable. So my front sight used to go to 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, so a little bit towards the right. So when I shot IPSC, the target is shaped a little bit triangular on the top. So when my sight goes right high, it's basically Alpha Charlie, Alpha Charlie. So I try to change that to straight up and down movement, and it helped a little bit on shooting more alphas. And I experimented a lot with the grip pressure and the hand placement on the gun to make the flip a little less. And I think people have to experiment with their grip and improve on their grip.
Yeah, but that would be like when I said there's two categories really of main areas people need to improve, where it's, hey, pulling the trigger as fast as you can on the close stuff, and then kind of like the second thing is figuring out what you can get away with as you back up. That'd be more like learning to, like, being able to get away with more as you back up, right?
Yeah.
So that'd be for guys who are, if you're A class, M class, maybe already GM, and then you start backing up to the 15-yard line or 20-yard line, and you start seeing Charlie show up or Deltas show up, and you're trying to clean those up, right?
Yeah.
All right. Yes. Good.
That gives you the knowledge of how fast you can shoot and how much you need to confirm on the sight.
Yeah, of course. But I think most people, like, especially when they're just learning to shoot the gun as fast as they can pull the trigger on the close stuff, I think it's better to come at it the other way and say, like, no, you will shoot as fast as you can pull the trigger, and then you're going to learn to hold on to it. You're going to learn to control the gun, and not the other way around. Not start slow and then, like, learn to go faster, learn what you can get away with. I think it's way easier to come at it the other way. Go fast, learn to control it. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I like it.
Good. Well, I think we hit that one out of the park, huh, guys?
Yeah, that was good.
You fucking hater. All right. Now you gotta look inside, deep inside yourself, Hopkins, because these two questions, they're basically the same question. Will you be making any changes to your training in 2018, and what do you wish you'd have done differently in 2017? If you want to answer. If you want to tell this guy, be like, yeah, go fuck yourself. That's fine too.
You want me to answer first?
Sure. You're the smartest guy here. Definitely the best looking.
I don't know. That's an interesting question.
What did you do differently in 2017 as opposed to 16? Because I feel like I'm going to be honest with you, dude. I feel like you got a lot better in 2017. There was a noticeable move in your performance at matches.
I don't know. It's not one thing at this level, right?
Fuck, you're right.
It's a lot of little things. Like, I concentrated on some movement stuff in practice. Otherwise, I wasn't doing that before. I concentrated on just shooting skill stuff in practice also, kind of isolating that out. Got a new gun, that helped a lot.
Yeah.
Shadow 2.
I heard those are like kind of like stock twos, but not as good.
Not as cool, yeah.
Yeah. It's just what I heard. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I think I shot more rounds this year than before.
What did you shoot this year?
I really have no idea. It's just a gut feeling.
Just my feeling. It's just my feelings. And Kim's sitting over there with like a notebook. He knows exactly. You know, within 100 rounds how many you shot this year, don't you?
every round I know.
You do, don't you?
Yeah, I
Jesus
remember how
Christ.
much trigger pull I did on my thing. I have a log. I have a ammo spending log.
I have no doubt you do have such a log, sir. Why am I not surprised? All right, Cam. Well, what are you going to change up this year, if anything? I'm sure you've got
Yeah.
a plan already.
Of course. So 2017, I wanted to shoot 60,000 rounds. I wanted to, but didn't happen. It was not as many, not near as many. So I wanted to work on my fundamentals a lot by shooting more rounds this year, but for financial reasons and all that, didn't happen. And next year, I want to try to make it happen. I want to improve my fundamentals more. And if I had a chance to go back to 2017 with more rounds, I will definitely work on my fundamentals more, especially the speed shooting part with accuracy, because this sport is speed shooting with accuracy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there anything you feel you did wrong this year?
Not wrong. I trained really hard, a lot of hours, but I felt like I wanted to do actual shooting part more, and I didn't, get the actual shooting part as much as I thought I would.
Yeah. If I fucked up anything this year, I did way too much distance shooting
Uh,
and not enough close range target focus shooting prior to World Shoot. If I did something wrong, that was it. In retrospect, yeah, I was training too much on the wrong things. I think there was 3 targets we had at 50 yards for that match. I've been
Yeah.
like, fuck, I'm in here for 3 fucking targets, and I'm like fucked on the rest of this match. But like it's not like it's wasted time. It was just I would have focused on different areas. So next year I'll be there's some stuff I want to work on. Obviously there always is. I mean, there's things I want to get better at, but I can't look back on this year and complain too much. It's just I want to try and get better for next year, As always. I'll keep getting better until I can't get better, and then I'll quit. Right.
It's too fun to quit.
It's what?
Too fun to quit.
Oh, yeah, you're probably right. I'm a bitch.
like
I'll probably still
asking-
be doing this when I'm 60.
It's like asking Korean people to stop playing computer game.
Um,
They're not separate thing. Korean people are born with it. It's too much fun.
Stop eating kimchi. Yeah. Phew. All right. So there's a thread. I'd like to hear you guys take on the stage design question from a post on dutyproject.com on the forum. There's an interesting thread a guy started. This is not something we've never discussed before, but it was a question about stage design. Guy said, next year I plan on being more active in designing stages for my local club. As I was listening to an old podcast, and I was surprised to hear Ben say one of his most memorable stages was only 8 rounds. I remember saying that, and I still remember what stage that was. That was a stage I shot in 2009. I still remember it. Thinking back on your favorite stages, what makes them so great? So what do you think, Hopkins? I mean, you got another world shoot under your belt here. Looking back on it,
Shit. I mean, memorable stages there's options, there's multiple ways people to shoot it. Actually, people shooting it different ways, like on the Super Squad or whatever, kind of trying to think that it'll tailor to their strengths or weaknesses away from them or whatever, something like that. But Round count doesn't matter. There's something inherent to if there's risks that you can actually gain a significant portion of. I like that. That's pretty cool because that'll separate a lot of the skill levels.
Yeah.
Like if you can risk taking like 2 paper in between this activator or whatever, that usually pans out really good.
So you like options? I mean, I'll say this. When guys are like, well, I like stages with options, you hear that a lot, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And to me, it's like if I don't see good shooters in the same division shooting the stage differently, then there's not really options. You know what I mean? Like if it's people aren't actually choosing to go, different ways on the stage, you might
Yeah.
like a guy might design a stage and think that they put in options. They're like, well, look, there's a lot of ways you could do it here. But if there's only one way that's wise to do it or only one smart way to do it, then there's not really any options. If you know what I mean. Is
Yeah.
that fair to say? Got to see people
But
actually doing it differently.
that could work opposite in depending on your division though too.
Yeah. Of course. I mean, but you want to see it in the guys in the same division shooting the stage differently. Whether or not the open shooters do it differently from the production shooters is a different thing. But open shooters doing it different from each other is an interesting thing.
Yeah.
All right. I made a post on that thread. So one guy posted shit. Where is it? One guy had a good post. Great matches are made up of a variety of stages with a variety of challenges. It's in putting the stages together that you gain balance. So really thinking about it in terms of match design, not so much stage design. What do you think about that, Kimmy?
I was thinking about that actually. I didn't want to say much about like being one stage, how I like one stage kind of thing. I like as a match usually.
That's a good way to think about it. And probably the lamest fucking way you can make your club match right now is you got 5 32-round stages and then you got the classifier. Boom. That's the match. Right?
That's pretty common, I think, though.
That's super common. It's also the lamest possible thing you could do.
Even more lame is if you had 8-round arrays in each of those.
Yeah. Where it's like where it's going to be. You've been to those matches where it's like, oh yeah, this is the bay where we do this. And then you go to the next bay, this is the bay where we do this. And you're like, oh, fuck me. Like, time to change it up, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, I'll read one more post off here, and then we'll shut this podcast down. One guy likes the opposite of a port with 4 targets in it stages. If everyone shoots the stage the exact same way, you're probably failing at things as a course designer. Difficult and technically challenging aren't the same thing either. Sure, a trio of 20-yard headshots on fast swingers would challenge your PCC GMs, but they're impossible for the novice with a Glock 22. He won't come back. Give the same pair of shooters a setup where you could take a tight 10-yard parcel on the move in order to delete setting up in a position to whack a few targets. The GM will see it and do that. The novice will post up and hit everything. Everyone has fun. Boom, good stage. What do you think about that, Matt?
That's a really good explanation of it, but
yeah,
I don't see anything wrong with it, really.
No, I mean, that's one interesting thing that you see on IPSC short stages. How they'll have like a swinger over the top of something and it's only like 8 or 10 or 12 rounds or something. But then for like the higher level guys, we'll look at the stage and be like trying to calculate on which pass we get the swinger to cut 3/10 off the stage. And then if you go to that and you shoot the same stage as a total newbie, you're going to shoot at that swinger until you're sure you've got 2 hits on it, and you don't care how long it takes. But it's like, it's just there's the stage, and it's not that you can't do it. It's not that you can't hit everything. It's just a matter of doing it efficiently and trying to get the highest hit factor you can get on that day.
Well, that does matter at some point.
Well, it ends up being interesting for everybody, right?
Beginners can't hit everything.
Well, yeah, they're always going to have it be stupid at some point, but.
Yeah, I really like simple stages. Even if it's simple, it doesn't mean it's easy.
Yeah.
So IPSC stages are simple, but it's challenging. and I really like that kind of thing.
Yeah. All right, guys. Another bang up podcast. Listeners, if you have a question you'd like the answer to, go to benstoeger.com, send me your question. I'll put it to the boys, and we'll see what they have to say. All right?